I'm trying to get more information from police. They are getting ready to, I think, go over and brief Scott Johnson. So as soon as he gets information, we'll bring it to you. Tom, in a very strange and unusual move, Pedro Alcazar dismissed his attorney Thursday and decided to represent himself in this trial, which has made for a very interesting case. I'm at baggage claim right behind me, where you would think a couple days before Thanksgiving you'd have a lot more people here. We're going to jump on the escalator and show you what's going on up here. Now, the storm up north has caused some problems. Tom, since the Putnam County Sheriff's Office is involved in this incident, an outside agency is looking into it. The Federal Department of Law Enforcement has been at the home all day, taking pictures and collecting evidence, trying to piece together what happened in this shooting. When this fire broke out, one of the firefighters who works here at XL Carts jumped in a golf cart, went around to the different businesses in the area, just picking up fire extinguishers, not even asking questions, literally just picking them up and driving around to get to the fire and get it put out as soon as possible. One thing the firefighters really wanted to get across is the importance of having a big fire extinguisher. Usually this is all that's required in a building, but when you're in an emergency, you don't want the bare minimum. You want something like this that's really going to pull through for you. Reporting live on the north side, Hailey Winslow, Channel 4. The local station. They say there wasn't a better man on earth. He died helping someone, and they say that's just the kind of man Cheryl was. This right whale has fishing line attached to its tail, but that's not necessarily what caused it to die. Got my safety goggles on. Is that sharp?
It's a machete blade. It's kind of it's dull, but when it's hot, it doesn't matter.
For the grand finale, Go Jags! Never in a million years at the beginning of the season, when they were 0-2, did they think they would be standing on that 50-yard line accepting the state runner-up trophy. A very close community says goodbye to its beloved sheriff. Florida's longest-serving sheriff, Jerry Whitehead, was laid to rest in Lake Butler yesterday. A holiday homecoming for one of our heroes who got to hold his daughter for the very first time. Corporal Abraham Hunt has been in Afghanistan since July, and it's a very big and exciting day in sports, especially since this is the last home game for the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're getting ready to take on the Tennessee Titans. I hope you have your flip-flops on and your cooler packed. Culpepper has all that and more in today's sports. She's a spitting image of her mom at that age. 2.5-year-old Olivia Jackson playing on the bed with her sister and cousin.
They understand that their mommy's not coming back, but they don't fully grasp exactly where she's at.
From the time Sherilyn Craighauser wakes up to the time she goes to bed, she thinks about what happened to her daughter.
It was like last night, I was in my bedroom alone, and I was putting clothes up, and I just dropped to my knees and I cried. And I cried and I cried and I cried. I cried harder than I think I've ever cried. And the girls came in and they hugged me and they said, "We miss her too, Granny."
Craighauser knew something was wrong when she had a knock at the door at 2:30 in the morning on October 31st. It was the chief of police, Lake City Mayor, and Craighauser's dad.
I'm looking around and I thought it was my sister, and he says, "No, baby, it's Brandy." And everything at that moment just stopped. I don't remember anything else. I mean, they're trying to tell me all this stuff, and they keep saying, "Are you all right?" And I can't understand what they're saying. I can't hear them. I can't understand them. The only thing I knew was that my baby was gone. I never thought I would bury one of my children. Parents are not supposed to do that, you know?
It's unfathomable pain Craighauser may never get over, losing her 24-year-old daughter and best friend, and trying to explain to 4-year-old Ava why her mommy's not coming home. But Officer Brandy Jackson's family is also focusing on celebrating her life.
I've got awards in here from when she was in elementary school of being the friendliest, of being physically fit or outgoing, and that's who she was.
A person who adored her kids and family and loved nothing more than serving her community. Now that community is returning the favor by supporting Officer Jackson's family.
I just have to stop and cry and hug their neck and thank them. People I don't even know. Brandy touched a lot of people's lives, and it shows. It really does.
Mary, you know, it's kind of eerie out here. Normally you would hear traffic roaring over the bridge, and it's very quiet, and it's probably going to be that way for quite a while.
This will be the most significant delays the city's had in a long time.
This is why. A ship hit the Matthews Bridge. It happened at about 2 p.m. Investigators say 4 tugboats were leading the USNS Harry L. Martin from Blunt Island to the other side of the North Florida shipyard so workers could dredge Blunt Island. The 760-foot, nearly 40,000-ton Navy support ship went under the bridge and at the stern didn't fit. The lift ramp on the left side, which is called the Port Side King Post Buttress, hit the top of the bridge. The bridge is about 152 feet high. Obviously, it'll fluctuate depending on the tides and where you are on the bridge. Now, the ship, from the water line to the ramp, is 148 feet tall. So that gives the ship about 4 feet of wiggle room. With the high tide, the wind tide, and no cargo on board, which would make the ship sit up higher, the ship could easily be taller than the bridge, which it clearly was in this case. The Coast Guard is investigating the vertical clearance of the bridge at the time, why the tugs kept going, and why the lift ramps weren't lowered, which is possible to do. While that investigation continues, the Department of Transportation is focusing on fixing the bridge and getting it back open so the 56,000 vehicles that cross it each day can do so safely.
Everybody's involved in this. This is affecting our broader community, and all the agencies are pitching in to help. Be patient. Try to make adjustments whenever possible, and just understand this is going to be a process.
Most bridges in Florida are required by law to have a vertical clearance marker that's on the side of the bridge, so when mariners go under it, they can tell how much room they have. Well, this is one of the bridges that doesn't have that, so captains really have to rely on charts and then factor in the tides to make sure that they can fit. Now, whether that was done or not is something the Coast Guard will be looking into. Reporting live in Talleyrand, Hailey Winslow, Channel 4, the local station.
Hailey, the question on many drivers' minds, I'm sure, any idea from officials how long it could take to repair? Are we talking days? How about weeks?
Well, Mary, you've seen the pictures of the bridge, that dent in the bridge. That doesn't necessarily tell the whole story. There might be more damage that you just can't see. So the DOT is going to have to do a thorough investigation, and then they're going to get an emergency repair contractor in here to fix it immediately. So the short answer is there's no telling.
And we'll be following it every step of the way. Hailey Winslow reporting to us live. Thank you, Hailey.